So, my name is Dr.P.Sujana. So, in macroeconomics, advanced macroeconomics, I am going to explain about the government expenditure multiplier. So, here, how the economy is amplifying its output, income, and employment in the government spending. That is being explained. So, what is government expenditure multiplier? That is, it measures how much aggregate output increases for every additional rupees of the government expenditure. So, here the definition is that the ratio of change in national income to change in government expenditure multiplier. So, the formula is kg equal to, so k is multiplier, g is government expenditure multiplier. So which is kg equal to delta y by delta g. So where delta y is the change in output. So and delta g is change in government expenditure multiplier. That is change in spending. So the Keynesian model, how it works. The government spending doesn't just add 1 rupees, it sets off a chain reaction of income and consumption. So the first one is government spending. And the next one is income, and the next one is how the household spends it, and and then it reflects on the GDP. So each round of spending becomes someone else income, creating a multiplier effect driven by higher marginal propensity to consume. So the multiplier effect, it is nothing but when the income increases, that obviously the spending also increases. That is, the consumption increases. The consumption increases, then how much the consumption is increased, which reflects the spending. So that has been explained. So the how many times it is effect increases, the fourfold effect, that is called multiplier. So here the government how it spends, that has been explained the help of multiplier. So empirical evidence. So the data shows that multipliers are not fixed. They vary significantly with economic conditions. Baseline, most estimates range from 0.8 to 1.5. So recessions with economic slag and low crowding out, multipliers can reach 1.5 to 2.5 percentage. So in an open economy, import leakages effects from 0.5 to 1.2. So when multipliers go wrong, that is crowding out. So high interest rates, government borrowings rises rates, so making private investment costly. When the government borrowing rates increases, obviously private investments becomes hike. So there creates the inflation pressures. The inflation pressure is that there will be increase in the price levels of goods and services. So surge in demand rises, price eroding real stimulus value. So deplacement effects, public projects replace, uh, remake private spending occurred anyway. So these are the effects. So for example, sports stadium projects often show higher thing multipliers below 1, crowding out spending that would have happened anyway. So beyond the government spending, other multipliers, that is spending multiplier kg, that is investment multiplier, the largest in magnitude. Every dollar of direct government expenditures enters the economy immediately. So the tax multiplier, that is typically smaller than government expenditure multiplier, that is denoted as kg. Households may save a part of a tax cut rather than spend it all. So the transfer multiplier, that is KR, it lies between the tax multiplier and the government multiplier. So it transfer recipients spend some amount but on the money income. So the policy implications here. So there are three implications. The targeted spending, that is, they prioritize high multiplier projections. That is projects such as infrastructure, direct aid during recessions, and programs with low import leakage. So the next one is timing. That is crucial. Stimulus works best when the economy has significant stock. Ideal resources amplify the multiplier effect. So watch the debit levels. High government debit rises crowding out risks and may trigger expectations of future tax increases. So if there is high debit, obviously the tax will be increasing. So that is a burden for the people. So the evolving debit, how government design fiscal policies that maximize positive economic impact while minimizing unintended consequences. So ongoing division, active research and the core insight. So economists remain divided on the precise magnitude and the ideal conditions for effective fiscal stimulus and the active research. That is the based on the future work continues to explore a multiplier nonsense across diverse economic conditions and policy environments. Stimulus works, how much it works depends on the context.